Well, hey guys, and welcome back. This is video number 13. I think that's a lucky number, at least. I'll say it's lucky for me in this instance. Welcome back. My name is Tony, and this is Tony Talking Cards. Tony Talks Cards. Don't want to add an ing to the end of that, but Talking Cards here, video 13. This week, this is a Wednesday video, but doing it on Tuesday based on some work things getting in the way and some other personal events. I want to get it out here a day early. But I want to talk about 1979 Topps football. Now, I did a video on 78 Topps football. If you go back through the channel, you'll probably see that highlighted in the title. And my goal is to really review about once a week some of those older vintage football sets I collected when I was younger. Thumb through them, look for some cards I remember, what memories they bring back, look at some key rookies, the set design, and whatever else kind of comes back as I think about the set, looking at it all these years later. So, next up after 78, obviously numerically, is 1979. So let's dive right in. Again, if you like the video, if you've liked the channel so far, love to have you subscribe to the channel. About 3, 4 videos coming out about a week, give or take. Like the video also too, and if you have any questions or comments or have a similar memory on, in this case, 79 Topps football, leave a comment. Let's talk about it. So, first off, rookies. 78 I talked about. We had Tony Dorsett. I like that because of his name. John Stallworth, I think Joe Klecko, some other folks in there too. But 79 had one of the bigger rookies, but it also had not so many rookies, at least in how I think about that in my memory. So the biggest one we had, of course, is Earl Campbell. So Earl Campbell's only Topps card, I believe his base card, only Topps base card was his rookie card in 1979. Again, one kind of funny memory this brings back, I never saw him play. Never saw Campbell run. May have seen him on, highlight videos, NFL films, things like that. But when I was 8, 9 years old, I assumed the guy had just played 1 year. Like he only had one football card. So that's a crazy, crazy career. One football card. It's the most highest priced rookie in the set. But he played 1 year. What's going on? I never kind of thought to do more research, or I never was old enough to really watch him during his playing days. Only later did I figure out that he played more than just 1 year, but he just never appeared on a lot of, or really any other Topps cards, I don't believe, unless he was on a record breaker or a team card in 80. I guess we'll get to that set here in a week or so, but must have been a dispute with Topps or some other contract issues. But again, he played several years, not 15 years like some guys do nowadays, but played enough to at least have that impact on the league. But I thought he was just playing for 1 year, had a great rookie card, and that's what made up the set. But obviously, looking back at it, you can find out more later with the advent of Google and other types of research tools out there. So, key rookie there. Again, kind of cool too. Earl Campbell also appears with Walter Payton on a 1978 NFL Leaders rushing card. And me being a Bears fan, I would be remiss to not show a Bears card, and definitely the biggest one, Walter Payton's card. So here's his base card here. And again, like I talked about, I think in another video prior to this, right up until 1982, I think it was, and for a while maybe before that, Topps couldn't show the emblems of the Bears, the Chiefs, the Colts, whoever. The helmets were all washed out and just brushed over, so it just looked like a black or a navy blue helmet to me. And when I was younger, I just figured they had different helmets back in that time. They didn't wear the Bears logo on their helmet, but obviously, seeing NFL films and other pictures from the era, you would see they did do that. But again, as a young kid, didn't really think all of that all the way through. So enjoyed that card. Again, Peyton on a Bears team leader card too, with Alan Page down there in the bottom corner. Again, more well known for his days with the Vikings, but did play with the Bears during his last couple years there. Other rookies in the set, Ozzie Newsome. I didn't pull that one out, but again, Hall of Fame tight end. And then James Lofton, again, airbrushed Packers helmet, but he played for a number of teams, at least the Buffalo Bills as well, and maybe one more besides the Packers. So again, his rookie card there. He played into the 90s, I believe, too. even one of the Bills, or maybe more than one of the Bills Super Bowl teams in the early 90s. So another one that's, again, not a Hall of Fame rookie card. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame yet, but again, was Doug Williams. He started his career with the Buccaneers, quarterback. First year was 78. Again, maybe more well known for his Super Bowl win with the Redskins in 1988, beating the Broncos. One of those guys too, where I knew about him in '88. I watched that Super Bowl, knew his rookie card was in '79. But looking back at his statistics now, I just didn't realize that he had several years in the '80s where he was a backup, didn't play, maybe was injured. I don't really quite remember what I looked at there. But again, wasn't a consistent 16 game a year starting quarterback. So he doesn't have cards, I don't think, in '87, '86, and maybe '85 or '84 too. But I know the early '80s he had more Buccaneers cards. So again, kind of some cool uh, hindsight being 2020 memories on that one too here. So if you watch some of the videos that I put out, you know that I had a video just on checklists and how I used to literally check them off as I finished my set. And the sets I built, pack by pack, card by card, all 528 or 396 cards, that was, you kind of needed that to keep track of what you were doing. With 79 tops, the story with that one is I actually was able to buy that. Well, my parents bought that for me all at once. And then I would pay them back, penny by penny, nickel by nickel, as I did various chores, my allowance money, birthday, Christmas gifts, things like that, and bought the set. It was in our household, but I bought it, one card at a time. And so you wouldn't have thought I would have used a checklist to mark things off. I mean, I guess I could have as I was getting, the first 20, 30, 40 cards, but like I knew the set was there. I knew I was going to get it at some point. If I kept saving my money and buying it, I would get it. There would be no missing box. They would all be checked off. And so just this morning, looking at this, I pulled open some checklists from my 1979 Topps football set in the pages I still have it in. And lo and behold, I guess I was a creature of habit. Not just were the normal 4 checklist cards checked off, but like Topps did too, a lot of the team cards, the team leader cards, had checklists on the back that showed who was in the set for that team. And you can imagine what I did looking at it just an hour ago. I checked those off too. So here's a few examples of that. Here's a Steelers team card. You've got the Buccaneers team card, Tony Dorsett for the Cowboys, team leaders cards, and the Cardinals. And lo and behold, every single one of these is checked off. You can't see them because of the way I stored them in the pages, but apparently it was enough for me to, hey, as I got 10, 20, 30 cards, one by one, go through each of the checklists, let alone the entire set checklist cards in a set. And with looks like a consistent blue pen here, mark them all off. So again, these aren't going anywhere. They're not being graded. They're not being sold. OCD may tell me I want to get fresh cards that aren't checked off for my personal set, but again, these are also the ones I got originally, so maybe I'll just keep them as they are. So again, kind of a funny memory with that. A couple more things about the set. It was kind of, the set, I think 1982 had some of the last Topps cards of some major 70s stars. So Fran Tarkenton's last base card is in this top set. I know Larry Zonka and Bob Greasy had, I think, cards in 1980. So that'll be next week's video probably. But again, had their second to last card in 79 Topps. Alan Page was near the end of his retirement as well. Bradshaw went longer into the 80s. But again, kind of interested to see some of those, more veteran players with some of the last cards in the set. So I pulled some of them out. And again, those who know the set know what they look like. But kind of interesting that I wish they kind of had more action to them. I mean, Fran Tarkenton's last cards with him on the sidelines with a towel on his head. Again, the back of the card's cool, showing all of his statistics, but again, not quite the action shot. And then, Bob Greasy and Larry Zonka, headshots. Again, one with the helmet on, one with the helmet off. But again, not too exciting for a kid, I guess, collecting. But again, they have tons of statistics on the back of their cards too that show their career. But the last thing that really stuck out to me about this set, and it's not even the Hall of Famers, it's not the stars, it's some of the kind of mid-tier, maybe they were starting quarterbacks. I wasn't watching football back in 79 myself, or backups. Or maybe they had a couple years, they made the top set 1 or 2 years in the 70s and 80s. But they had some really cool action on the field shots I wanted to show off. And they weren't the stars, which is kind of funny. So again, I guess the first one's not a good example of that, but um, Craig Morton, again, he was a star. He had played, I would say, with the Cowboys back to 65 is what the back of the card shows. But again, showing him in a passing position after taking snap and looking to throw the ball downfield. But he played with the Cowboys, Giants and Broncos, had a pretty long career. You've got Greg Landry, the cool mid-action shot looking downfield. You've got June Jones. Clearly, he had been sacked or had some mud on the back of his uniform there with the Falcons. Some of these guys I don't remember how long they played. Randy Dean with the Giants, again, under center. And then two more under center cards. Mike Livingston under center with the Chiefs. And Matt Robinson under center with the Jets. Livingston, actually looking back at his card now, had stats back to 69 with the Chiefs. So he'd been playing for a while. Maybe he was the starting or quasi starter back in the late 70s. I don't know for sure. I wasn't watching back then. But again, I like the shots. These are quarterbacks under center. See the other team who they're playing. They're playing the Chiefs in that case. Again, can't see the emblems, but you can see the field, the turf, the defensive line, the offensive line, a little bit of action there too. So that kind of made those cards special and cool to me there. So, well, that's it. That's 79 Topps football. Again, Earl Campbell, I thought he played 1 year and just was well known for that 1 year and that one, breaking tackle. I think it was against Isaiah Robertson. They always show on NFL films and highlights the jerseys being ripped away. But obviously, he had a longer career than that into the 80s and even played with the Saints. I hope that's right. So, anyway, this was fun. If you like what you've heard or like these types of sets too, love to have you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you'd like as well, and catch me for some more videos on Tony Talks Cards later this week. All right, thanks. Bye.